Sandra Stepan, co founder and creative director, a sales and marketing expert whose passion lies in helping businesses navigate the ever changing landscape of digital marketing. Having already built three e commerce stores in Canada, she has positioned herself organically as an authority in this domain, a voice whom businesses can turn to for a competitive advantage. People describe Sandra as a dynamic, social, and engaging person whom you can rely on for sound advice, whether commercial or otherwise. So, welcome, Sandra.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, what is your secret talent? It's so interesting. You're a star, it's for sure.
I will disagree with that, but thank you. I really like I really like this question actually because I
Mm,
don't have a secret talent. If I'm good at something, it's because I work hard, I eliminate excuses, and I just do it. And I know that people sometimes like hearing about other people's superpowers, gifts,
mm,
talent. And I think that's because it gives them an excuse to not achieve their fullest potential. They place other people's success on external factors, like talent. And then they could say, oh, if I only were that talented, I could. If only I could. If only I would. Um, Thank you for calling me a superstar.
you
But
are.
well, I think, in my opinion, look, I think I'm as average as it gets at the foundation.
Mm,
I've never excelled in sports. Growing up, I've never excelled in school or arts as a child. But
mm.
as an adult, I do think that I took it upon myself to master some crafts. And I did the work that needed to be done. So with that, I wouldn't say I'm super talented, but I've definitely excelled at a few items.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was reading a few weeks back because we are always think if we have the motivation, we need the motivation, which is great. But what it's actually about motivation, it comes and it goes. So I think discipline is better because for the bad days, you can actually use the discipline. If we are always waiting for the motivation, I don't know. We are trapped to be on. I mean, it's beautiful to have motivation because from motivation we are creating amazing things. But how about the days we are not very happy? It's a day when we are maybe getting a message or an email. They're not actually very nice, and then our motivation it's out of the window. So I think the discipline actually works excellent every single time. So yeah, no. Okay, so I think we actually you defined the the definition of the word talent, but yeah, still from outside, this is how we see you are a talent. So we'll keep that. Okay, so what is your, I don't know, guilty pleasure, or what is your guilty pleasure that you have and nobody would know about you, if it's not a secret, of course.
No, it's not a secret. I would say my guilty pleasure is definitely TikTok. 90%, and I call it guilty pleasure because 90% of the content that I personally consume on TikTok is absolute garbage. I know that there are a lot of good quality content pieces on TikTok, but what I watch on TikTok and what the algorithm feeds me is absolute garbage. I absolutely love TikTok. I love how our generation has come together through
Mm.
songs and dances and sounds to create inside jokes. I honestly feel so stupid every time I watch my feed on TikTok. But I think I need to cleanse my discipline that we just talked about
Yeah.
with a little bit of not such good quality social media content
Mm.
on TikTok. I would say that's definitely my guilty pleasure.
Yeah. You know, I like to TikTok myself. And I was doing what you're probably doing, but now I'm more disciplined in the sense of I only allocate maybe 5 minutes per day. Second, I created like folders. So I'm saving different kinds of videos. So, for example, if I have a bad day, I have a folder with humor. So I'm
Mhm.
going there, and mostly they're honestly with pets like cats and dogs, and dancers, or I really like I have that. I also have a folder with learning English, right? Because English is my second language. So I actually have in my calendar every morning at AM. I'm dedicating at least 10 minutes for learning English from TikTok, because they're like very like short videos and very condensed. And I have to be honest, I learned in the
Mhm.
last few weeks from those little. So I think TikTok is not necessarily something bad. It's the amount. It's like, when we are like when we eat cake. If we eat only one slide, it's okay. But when we eat like the entire cake, it's a little bit not okay. So.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why I said what I watch on TikTok is garbage. Just like what you watch on TV. You can go to TV and watch a documentary, or you
Mhm,
can go and watch a reality TV. And that's why I
absolutely.
said it's my guilty pleasure, because I don't
Mhm.
go to TikTok to, I know that you're very disciplined and you're watching a lot of good educational, informational, and feel good
Mhm.
videos with pets and cats. And I do too. I do too. There's a lot of cats on my feed. But the reason why I go on TikTok is honestly to just be fed very poor content on social media. It's because I like it and it's my guilty pleasure. There's no excuse for a guilty pleasure. It's just a guilty
Yeah,
pleasure.
it's pure dopamine.
That's
Honestly,
exactly it.
it's
That's
pure
exactly it.
dopamine. Okay, it's not that you're old, but what you would tell to your younger self, what advice would you give to your younger self? I don't know. If you can give an advice to you, like back,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if I could travel back in time and
Mm,
go back to my younger self, especially my, I would say my formative years as a teenager and young adult, when you are creating a lot of your identity and
mhm,
impressions about the world, I would definitely tell myself to be more disciplined and focus on long-term goals. Invest instead of buy, and invest early, right? Because compounding interest is
mhm.
only possible with time. That's something that you never get back. I would tell myself to party less and self-educate more, and well, and remove a lot of the non-essential people in my life and spend more time
Mhm.
alone.
But that's very smart, and I think it's very wise. But yesterday actually I went to a salon to do my nails. I have a nice nails,
You do?
and I was talking to the girl who is probably, I don't know, 20 something. I don't know. She looks amazing, and I was telling the same. When I was young, I was eating pretty much everything. Now I'm doing like I'm very disciplined. She was listening to me and then was like, it's great you are doing what you're doing right now, but now you know how it is to go to a party, you know how it is to eat whatever you want whenever you want. And that was like I would never thought about that, right? Because we are like, we have the tendency to be like perfect, to eat very healthy, to have enough sleep, to be disciplined, which is great. But we always, if we never experience, we would have in our minds all the times, but how about if I can actually eat everything whenever I want, right? Or go to a bar, like
I agree.
what?
I
So
completely
it's an
agree. I
experience.
agree. And I think every part of our every stage in our life is important. And I'm not saying I regret partying
Mhm.
more than that I would party right now. But I also think that advice is important from people that you look up to. And I
Mhm.
think that I'm very focused on becoming the person that I want to become.
Mhm.
And I'm becoming the person that I like and the person that I look up to. So giving advice to my younger self would be giving advice from a person that my younger self will look up to. I know
Mhm.
that, especially adults, they like to tell children, don't grow up, it's a trap, enjoy your childhood. And as children, we're always like, but I
Yeah.
want to grow up because I want to do
Mhm.
grown things, because grown ups,
Yeah.
they get to go to bed late and they get to watch TV late and whatever. It's natural. But the reason why, like, we go through experiences, and it's nice to have a shortcut sometimes.
Mhm. I know. I know. And I agree. Okay, so what is your favorite country you visited? I know you visited a lot, and actually, how many did you visit it? And which one do you want to visit next, maybe? So they're like pretty much three questions. So
Yeah.
the
I
favorite, how many, and what's the next?
Yeah, great question.
Mhm.
I have visited about, I think, 20 countries, and every country has something beautiful to offer. I'm currently living out of my suitcase. I've had about 25 homes in the last year. And in
Mm,
Eastern Europe, just around, out and about. My heart definitely pulls towards Croatia a little bit more than other countries. I find myself wanting to go back over and over again. In fact, we're going there in 3 weeks.
mm,
I think the Adriatic coast is beautiful. I really resonate with people. I love the country. I love the attitude they have. I love the food, of course, and the music. And I've had great experiences. I definitely
beautiful.
want to visit the whole world. I don't think there's a country I wouldn't visit, even the ones that, let's say, have ambiguous political views that I may not agree with,
Mm,
because I think that the only way to cultivate true understanding of other people's culture is by walking in their moccasins for a while and seeing
mm,
life through their lenses. And I think a lot of the resentment that comes into this world, and a lot of the paradigms and stigma that we have towards each other, it's because we don't really understand where we're coming from, and we can only understand that if we're seeing life through someone else's lenses. So I would definitely want to visit the whole world. The next one on the list is Croatia again, and I'm
mm.
going to be in Eastern Europe for a while, but I will be taking every continent one by one and
Wow,
probably visiting most of the countries at some point.
that's absolutely beautiful and amazing. And I like that you said you don't want to use somebody else lenses. You want to see by yourself, like a first hand, your own experience, your own perception, your own interaction with people, the culture, pretty much everything. And I think this is what we suppose everybody to actually to experience. So it's just simply amazing. So what are you the most excited about your life right now?
Well, lots of things.
I bet.
I'm really excited about being able to work from the coast. It's been a dream of mine for quite a few years, and this summer we have about 2.5 months, 2.5 months of
Mhm.
direct sea view bookings with big balconies, and it definitely makes life a little bit better. I've been enjoying my coffee on the
Mm.
Adriatic Sea coast for the past few weeks in the morning from Montenegro, and I'm also very excited to balance work and life. I've struggled with this a little bit over the past few years. And in the last, I would say, half a year, I've been able to do life first and work second. And that's improved my performance at work. And
Mhm.
I honestly love my coffee and my reading my book in the morning without looking at my phone. I like that I'm 6 hours ahead of everyone in North America now. And I get to work out in the morning. I get to walk a little bit. I go for cappuccino dates, and then after I fill my own pot, I can start pouring into other cups.
That's amazing. And I like that you put yourself first, because we have the tendency to put the work first, because it's I don't know, we are always, in the rush, always we want to accomplish something, we have to do a very long to-do list created by ourselves, of course. But we forget to we are actually it's like we are in the plane, right? We have to put our oxygen oxygen mask first so we can actually help somebody. So it's the same. If we don't actually, we are not in the good health or mentally health or everything that makes everything good, we can't perform that to-do list. I mean, we could, but it's way more complicated, and probably the quality of our work is it's not the same. So yeah, it's a great advice to put ourselves first and work second. It's perfect, actually.
It's been working for me. It's been working for me.
Yeah. So if your life was a song, what would the title be?
If my life was a song, this is
Uh-huh.
something that someone told me about me a while ago, a mentor of mine. He told me my life would be Living La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. And I have to agree with him. It's uh, it's a fun, upbeat song. I could never not dance when that song is on. It's just about living La Vida Loca. So,
Yeah. There. So,
yeah.
but everybody knows the song. I love it. I love it because I know you're very always very outgoing, very like happy all the time, and you try to be happy, and you are taking from life everything is beautiful. Whatever is beautiful, not because we can see life different ways, right? So I like the way you see the life. So you're always happy. You are trying to dance and yeah. So what are three things you cannot live without?
So there's actually nothing I can live without, other than physiological needs like
Mm.
water, food, and shelter. So there's the three things. But I right now I'm working and choosing to live a life of detachment, and that's not to be confused with ignorance or lack of love or lack of empathy. But I choose not to place my happiness on any other external
Mm.
factors. I have been living in a suitcase for over a year. I've moved locations about 25 times in the past year. And I've enjoyed every experience that I've had without missing something that was somewhere else, or without missing, of course, I miss people, I miss family, friends, but I've chosen to enjoy every day and every
Mhm.
experience and every location for what it has to offer, and not think about where I would rather be or what I was or where I could be.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh my God. Speechless. I'm speechless. So
Exactly.
if you would go for an advice, who do you go?
So, as self-centered as it sounds, myself. And look, I believe that the answer to our life decisions actually lie within us. We humans are not very good at facing reality, and we
Mm.
like to make feel good excuses. We
Mhm.
also like to hear what we want to hear from other sources. And of course, I take input from other people that are smarter than me from specific areas. I go to my accountant for financial questions. I go to my personal trainer for workout questions. But ultimately, to reach decisions, I meditate on them after I've gathered and analyzed all the data and the stats
Mhm.
that need to be involved.
That's nice. That's great actually. And my motto on Instagram is I'm motivated by myself in 5 years. So, yeah, because that sets actually a little bit of goal there. So I want to change a little bit my life. So I'm looking forward to see myself in 5 years, and hopefully I will achieve my goals.
And follow the advice that you would give yourself if 5 years from now you would come back in time.
Absolutely, yeah.
A little
We
hard.
will have
So
another
it's
interview
hard to
then.
think about
We'll
that
have another
advice.
interview then. Yeah. So if you were not where you are right now, what career would you be in? I'm very curious.
I don't know if you're gonna like my answer, because if I were not where I am right now, meaning creating my own job and being in control of my career, realistically, I would be in some sort of a managerial role in a corporation, because I would have taken the more traditional approach to
Mhm.
career. I don't have a backup plan where I can say, if I were a marketer, I would be a chef, because those are not choices for me. Marketer is not choice for me. For me, the choice has always been, do I need to do to have the life that you want or don't?
Mhm. It's amazing. Yeah, it's very smart and wise.
Thank you.
So, what is your ultimate goal in your life?
I am reading a book right now about self-discipline, and I'm actually at a chapter that talks about aspirations, and there's been a lot of exercises on it.
Mm,
I'm not so good with being analytical with exercises, but they did advise to go to yourself for advice and meditate on it.
mhm.
And I've been thinking about this a little bit lately, and I don't know if this will change, but for now, my ultimate goal in life is to live a life without regret. I work on that right now by performing or fulfilling a couple of things, which is my mental health and peace,
Mhm.
my physical health, my relationships, and my career. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is filling in the details. I really just want to live a life where I'm content and where at the end of it, I can get to say, hey, it's been a great ride.
Yeah, that's smart because whatever you do, you'll be happy. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Like I will always told my when I work with clients, I always advise them develop a skill or two or three because then you can choose the job you want. Otherwise, you are
exactly.
very limited, right? So I think that's very smart. So what you will regret spending too much or too little on? Do you have
Spending,
anything in mind?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
If I were to regret, I mean, look, I just said my ultimate goal in life is to live a life without regret. But if I were to regret spending too little on something,
Mhm.
it would probably be spending too little attention on health, both
Mm.
mental and physical health. I started to feel a little bit of a burnout physically and mentally. And this year, I decided it's time to prioritize my health. Because if I'm a healthy, balanced person, I can do a lot more in other areas of my life.
Yeah.
If I were to say I would regret spending too much on, it would probably be spending too much time on things that have passed and that are no longer relevant. I think it's important to learn from mistakes and analyze what could have been done and what we can do next
Mhm.
time. But spending too much time and dwelling on things that are no longer relevant is something that I could definitely see myself regretting and something that I have regretted in the past.
Yeah, no, that's very like wise. It's I know, and always we have the tendency, and we are influenced by the exterior, right? Either or commercial or other people, or I don't
Mhm.
know. You go to a store, you're buying something, and then the person there say, "Oh, Did you know we have something else here? Maybe you're interested to buy." So it's still discipline, I guess,
Yeah,
and train ourselves to to not because we have the impulse. That's the problem. We always have the impulse. So I think we have to work on the impulse. Okay,
absolutely.
I'm interested in your routine a little bit right now. What is the first thing you do in the morning, like right now, in where you are right now? Because I know you work with different continents, so
Mhm.
you need a little bit of routine, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The very first thing I do every single morning, without an exception, is to drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Water is life. Water
Mm,
deserves all the respect in the world. So, drinking
absolutely.
water is the very first thing that I do,
Mhm.
and being very grateful for the clean water that I have. Then I make coffee and I grab my book. I go
Mhm.
outside on the patio and I read for 30 minutes in peace to myself, by myself. I don't look at my phone. And then I work out. I go out for lunch and then I get ready for the day. I meditate and then I get to work. And I've been keeping this routine for probably a year now. Whenever I change an Airbnb location, I first look for the perfect work spot. So I turn my table around. Usually, the tables are never in the same spot that you
Mhm.
find them when you go to my Airbnb. And then I find a good meditation spot and then a coffee spot. And eliminating decisions is something that's been proven to help in performing high in different areas of your life. That's why people like high achievers like Obama
Mhm.
and Mark
Mhm.
Zuckerberg, they really believe in decision fatigue because it's believed that we only have a certain amount of decision energy that we have throughout the day. So having a morning routine not only sets up your day for success because you're obviously doing something. I mean, a morning routine should be something healthy.
Mhm.
But if your morning routine is your coffee and cigarette, that's fine too. It's your morning routine, but ideally it should be something healthy,
Yeah.
healthy for your mind, for your soul, for your body, but also getting into the habit of not having to recreate decisions every morning. And
Mhm.
knowing this is my spot, this is my chair, this is my cup, this is my book, and just kind of going through the motions really sets up the tone for the entire day for me.
I agree 100%. And I wish we can have a future discussion about decisions. I think we can
Mhm.
go very deep in this subject because it affects us the entire day, the entire life, other our people in our life. So I think, and I was reading a while ago. The sleep is very important when taking decisions, and for example I heard like very like presidents, if they had like a bad night's sleep, they are not allowed to take any decision in that day. I don't know if it's true or not, but
Yeah,
it makes sense because we
yeah.
know if we had we don't sleep well in the night, the next day we're like everything, it's so complicated, it's so hard, so everything is just gray. So I think, and I would love a discussion more in depth about that decision, and of course different topics. But that, I think this would be a very interesting topic to debate.
I think so too. We should do it.
Yeah. So, what is one question you wish people would ask you more?
I wish people would ask me,
Mm,
why do you do this? I genuinely wish people ask me more, why do you do the things that you do? I have no shortage of people in my life that feel the burning desire to give me unsolicited advice. Buy
mhm,
a house, don't rent 25 Airbnbs in 1 year, cook at home, don't eat out every day, settle down and have children, your body's shriveling
mhm,
up. And look, I do have a few people in my life that I take advice from,
mhm,
absolutely. But I have very few people that are genuinely curious about why I do things the way I do things.
mhm,
And I don't want them to ask me this because I want to talk about myself. It's not an ego thing, but because most people that I interact with are not happy, they don't
mm,
have fulfilled lives. I'm not saying I'm happy every day. That's impossible. Happiness is not sustainable every day. But
mhm.
maybe if they could, instead of telling other people how they should live their lives, they would be curious on why other people live their lives differently.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe they could also change their outcome of their days and be a little bit
Mhm.
happier and find more content in their lives.
I think we always need new perspective, fresh perspective. See what other people, successful people do, because you are successful, right? So I would be curious. I know I ask you the question, so but yeah, you're right. You're right, because they it's so easy and it's like a trap, kind of.
Mhm.
It's like it's not like they feel pleasure, they don't feel well, but I think it's more not convenient, but it's something what they know.
Exactly.
They're afraid to learn something new, I guess. And I
Well,
think this is most of the people, they're afraid to learn something new.
yes, but that's also because people are afraid to learn something new because they're afraid of facing the truth. Because when you face the
Mm,
truth, all the excuses are out. It's so much easier to tell someone, go buy a house. You're so
mhm,
stupid for renting 25 locations, in 1 year. And yet, when you ask people what do they want to do when they retire, it's always, I want to travel. I want to
mhm,
drink wine on the coast. I want to wake up every day without an alarm clock. I want to savor coffee in different countries. And these are things I'm doing in my 30s because I designed my life to do them in that way. And I asked these questions, I looked at people that are doing this and I said, how do you do this? Please teach me. I have paid a lot of money to people to teach me how to do these things. And now I'm doing these things. But if you look at someone and say, ah, she's wasting money because she's,
Yeah.
the Airbnb example is always the one that comes to mind, because the traditional model is obviously don't rent, buy, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely great for anyone that wants to
Mhm.
settle. It's the perfect choice, of course, in many cases, not for me. So I hear it a lot. How come you just paying other people's bills, you're paying other people's mortgages, it's fine. I don't see it that way. The way I
Because
see
the
it is
focus is wrong. The focus is
the
wrong.
focus is wrong. The
If
way
the
I
focus
see
is
it
wrong,
is,
yeah.
this is the life that I want. This
Hmm.
is how much my life is going to cost me. So let's
Hmm.
figure out a way to make the money that's going to afford us life. So I'm not looking at renting out an Airbnb as I'm wasting money because I'm not buying. I'm looking at renting out an Airbnb as, where do I want to be this month? Can I
Hmm.
afford it? Cool, I'm gonna go there. So when things are non-traditional like that, but people usually don't respond well to non-traditional things. They don't respond well to eccentric people. They don't respond well to anything that's not
Hmm.
linear to what they've been taught, right? So it's so easy. I mean, look, judge all you want. I generally don't care because I'm doing my own thing. But perhaps if you took a step back and were curious on, why do people do certain things? Why this and not that? Why this and not that? You might find an answer that resonates with you that can help you in achieving what you want to do in your life.
Absolutely. No, that's great. It's like looking on a painting and you're way too close. You only see one detail,
Yeah,
and you'll be surprised if you walk, if you step back like a few steps, you'll see a beautiful painting. And yeah, I think people should try that, right?
I think so
To see
too.
how it is. Yeah, maybe it's not for everybody, but I would be curious, right? I would, and I'm trying, to be honest. I'm trying more and more. So hopefully I will. Yeah,
You'll find more answers.
yeah. So you touch a little bit, but what is your definition of misery? I mean, this is a strong word, but it's
Yeah.
real. It's real.
Mhm. It is real.
Hmm.
And uh, at the risk of offending 90% of your viewers or our viewers, I would say that 90% of the population is my definition of misery.
Mm.
And I know how this comes across. I'm very cognizant of it. But I really do think that most people live in some sort of self-perpetuated misery. And I'm not
Mhm.
talking about people that live in unfortunate circumstances, like war-torn countries, or have tragedies in their lives,
Exactly.
but I'm talking about
Their own decisions,
their own
probably.
decisions. I genuinely define misery as 90% of the population. I think that most people choose to be miserable in one way or another. They don't like the way they look, and they blame it at how stressed or busy they are or cash strapped they are, and they can't afford to go to the gym. They don't like their jobs, but they use it as an excuse. They use the excuse of having to pay bills to stay at that job. A lot of people don't like their spouse, their partner, but they don't want to leave them because
Mhm.
of the kids, because of this, because we've grown together, because of this and that.
Yeah.
And they say, but everyone does it. It's the way it is. And then they just accept it. And in my opinion, accepting something that you're told without actually questioning it, without trying to change it, without even being curious to see if there's another way out, in my opinion, that's the definition of misery. And
Mhm.
again, I'm not talking about misery as in you're feeling pain every single day, but you're not thriving. You're accepting what was given to you and what was told that you need to feel, and you don't question it.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, and it's interesting because my last question is about destiny, and if you believe in the destiny, uh, yeah, do you believe in destiny?
I I believe we create our own destiny. I think we make our choices and we control our life's outcome. I definitely believe that we're dealt different life cards. That's a fact.
Mm.
That's not up for question. Some are born in thriving environments and some in very unfortunate circumstances.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, look, no one owes us anything.
Mhm.
And we all have a choice at how we react with what we are given. I personally also believe in self fulfilling prophecies. I believe that you can tell your brain what to think.
Mm.
And that's actually been scientifically proven. I believe that our thoughts can be controlled and controlled by us. Obviously, our thoughts can be controlled by
Mhm.
the media as well, as you know, a lot of the times is the case. But I do believe that our thoughts can be controlled, and with that, our actions and our outcome, the outcome of our lives as well.
And I also, in my opinion, the destiny is taking the opportunity when they present themselves. So just, make sure you see the opportunities, and then, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people there, they have opportunities, but they decide not to change
Yeah,
anything. So I think, yeah,
absolutely.
destiny can be like you said. Amazing discussion. I'm looking for the next interview, and we'll probably have something more specific for the work you do, the decisions, and because you have so much to say, and I'm looking forward. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for. Oh my God, that was
Thank you
like a
very
good,
much.
good, good, good.
These are great questions. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to coming back again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Logimix is the after-school school for cool kids. Exceptional education for students grades 5 to 12 and in universities. Materials developed by Ontario certified teachers and a wealth of experience in teaching math in Canada and abroad. Logimix offers online programs like mathematics, science, physics, chemistry, English, chess. They offer 10% discount starting June 15 for summer classes and at chess camps. It's $68 per week. Details you can find out at 416-505-0780 or logimix.ca for courses summer 2022.